Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Sportsaholix. This episode is called Sorry for Your Loss. Sheezer, we're sorry for your loss.
Thank
Speak
you.
about
Yeah.
I want to hear
like
Willie say it.
I'm sorry for your loss. Hey, I
Thank
gotta be
you.
honest with you. I was rooting for Kansas City too, because my girlfriend is a Kansas City fan, and I went to her bar that she works at, and I had
plug
all
it.
the Kansas City gear on.
That
It was brutal.
now she's gotten you all that gear, right? That's not. You're not.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember towards the third quarter, I had to go to the bathroom to take a piss, and as I'm walking through the crowd, Eagles fans are pointing at me and laughing. And I said, I've never experienced this ever in my life.
I mean, they've been bottling
That
it for 6 years, so they've had. And you know what? And kudos to Philly fan this time for riding the horses as intended, not eating the horse shit like they did in 2017. They got on the backs like, oh, and when I first saw the clip, I'm like, it was they stole the horses, but clearly it was like an urban horse club, or I'm like, wait, those aren't police horses, but
No,
it's a better
no.
story if they are police horses. Unfortunately, I do not think that was the case. But kudos, Philly. Like you just take celebrating and you just keep going higher and higher and higher and higher with it. And I haven't heard reports of anyone dying. So good.
Yeah.
which by the way is unusual.
Yeah, you know
Just
what?
for Philly in general.
This shirt right here,
Yep.
which is from last year's back to back. I purchased this shirt actually no more than 100 yards from where I'm sitting across the street here, while the FBI were swarming in looking for an active shooter during the parade. Like you hear everyone's hiding and ducking. I'm like, honey, get on this side there's these giant concrete barricades. So I'm like, get on this side. And this lady goes, get on this side, sweetie. Like she wasn't listening to me until the old lady with the sweet Southern voice is like, get over here. It's safe. And so we're like kind of ducking down. And then I see the t-shirt guy who I've been looking for the entire parade. And I specifically wanted the one with the names on the back. And
Yep.
I'm like ducking. I'm like, does that have the names on the back? And he's like, yeah. And I go, you got two extra larges? I got one.
Well, she's actually that. Then now here's a question. Speaking of t-shirts, I was thinking of you yesterday, and I was like, so obviously there have to be three-peat Kansas City three-peat shirts out there. And do you want one? Should you go out and get one? Because I'll tell you honestly, as a Patriot fan, I would love a 19-0 perfect season. I would love that. I mean, like they always go to like they end up in South America
I was
or
gonna say, take
Africa.
that off the backs of a kid in Somalia.
I would. I mean, it's like I would love. I would love a perfect Patriot season. It's like I don't care. Like I'd like to live in a world where it happened. Do you or should you go out and find? There's got to be some bootleggers that still that have
I think
boxes.
yeah, I would. I mean, I would wear one. I think it's funny. I mean, great example was Belichick with his girlfriend, and she's wearing the Falcons Super Bowl champion shirt down in
Right.
New Orleans. I saw
Right.
that. Like, well played, well played. And what's crazy?
Because she was 3 when he was 28.
I was gonna say she
Like,
was
that's
what?
not even.
She was probably 12 when that game took place. I think
Oh.
something like that.
Yeah. She wasn't old enough to drink when that happened. No.
Ooh.
But I would take. Yeah, I think I would take. I think it'd be a funny shirt. Maybe I'll make one says three-peat ish. Maybe like
A three-peat asterisk.
Yeah, asterisks.
Okay, she's what I'd like to hear is I'd really like to hear sort of a whatever you want to go into, sort of a play-by-play or like a running diary of your Super Bowl experience, where you were when it started, where you were when certain things happened, when when the kickoff happened, when the coin flip happened, when say the first score happened, when an
Okay.
interception happened. Give us a breakdown. Did you move anywhere? Where was your head at as it unfolded?
In
Great
hindsight,
question.
luckily was just watch the game at home. So I
Good call.
didn't have to drive an hour in any direction or nothing.
Yeah.
Wasn't feeling that great. Anyway, I was like, I might be sick. That was kind of my out. Was like, I don't want to get a bunch of people sick. I'm not feeling so hot. But so the game starts. I get excited about 5 minutes in. I'm not really nervous or anxious or anything because at this point, this is just the Super Bowl. It's just whatever. This is number 5 in 6 years or what. so the aura and the shine of it all is not quite as exciting. I'm just trying to shoot this as straight as possible. About 5 minutes before the game, I'm like, okay, this is the Super Bowl. Let's go. Coin toss happens. I yell, Jody, we won the coin toss. We get the ball in the second half. And then and that's pretty much when all my excitement stopped. I mean, I think the first play, I think it was not a three and out, but Chiefs got the ball back. I remember yelling, great, we get to kind of start the game with the ball now, and we get it back. And then it was
wait. There was that first offensive PI. You know what I mean? There was that sort of controversial call.
Well, I believe that was in the second series.
No, the game starts and it goes to 4th and 2, and the Eagles make it, but then they don't make it, ended up punting. That's the opening. The Eagles get the ball.
That's right.
So there was at the time controversial offensive.
That's right.
Phil.
That's right.
And so that put us in the class, like Tom Brady's saying, everybody's saying it's a bad call.
Yep.
You guys, of course,
and it is a bad call. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
And then Philly got one back like almost immediately. I forget what that call was, but something happened soon enough where I'm like, okay, now they're even.
Right.
But offensively, it was just, it wasn't even stagnant. Like they didn't even get the boat into the lake. I was just, from the beginning, it was a shit show and there was no fluidity. I think in the third quarter, they had a brief, like 3 plays where it felt like their offense was they were picking up the pace a little bit. In fact, that was probably even the fourth quarter. The score, what was the final? 24-40 or something?
It was 40 to 22.
40 to 22. Really, it's 40 to 10. Or I think they missed some some 2-point conversions.
Right.
But the turnovers, like Jody went out to walk the dog, and right before halftime, then that pick 6, and you're just like, was that before halftime or was that in the third quarter?
Before halftime.
Yeah.
They were like 2. You guys okay, actually, I want to take you if I can take you to halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime, you're down 24-0. Now, just to take it back, guys, if you don't know, I'm Eric Marino. I'm in New York City. I'm a huge Patriot fan. I went through a perfect season. I also, in this case, I want to bring up, because I think the perfect season and the three-peat have a thing that I want to talk about in a minute, have a similarity.
Sorry to cut you off. I looked up where you can find a perfect season for the Patriots shirt. They went to Honduras.
I'm going. Road trip.
19-0 Honduras.
Willie Hunter, everybody, in Los Angeles now, and Chiefs fan who got laughed at and mocked. But here's my thinking. Just so you know, the Patriots were getting killed in the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl so badly that at halftime I took a shower. I don't know what. Okay, like I took a shower, and in the third quarter, like I started just doing laundry. Like that game was over. I did laundry to the back where it's like I actually missed the Donta Hightower strip sack, or I'm coming in with like a basket of laundry when the game literally turns around. So what I'm asking is, it's 24-0. The Kendrick Lamar halftime. Trump's already left the building. Kendrick Lamar and Sam Jackson are on the field. Like, what are you thinking? Where are you? Are you changing seats?
I'm referencing that. I'm referencing the Falcons game. I'm just like, okay, the offense can get going, but I just know it's not going to happen. I'm like, we do have Mahomes. It could happen, but I'm like, our offense has only scored 30 points all year one time.
Yeah.
And in the AFC Championship to get to the Super Bowl.
And then I'm looking, I'm like, but kind of 2 of their touchdowns are kind of more defensive. So I'm like, we could hold them. They haven't really been blowing us out offensively, minus like 3 awesome plays down by AJ Brown and anyway. But yeah, I knew it was over. I mean,
you only had 23 yards in that first half.
Oh man, it was brutal. And the worst,
at least with the Patriots, they were getting some yards. Like Kansas City, I was also like, oh, they're gonna come back. It has a Patriots feel. But then I looked at the stats. I was like, oh.
Also, Willie and I have been talking all season, because we were saying, like, when it was 7-0, it was like 7-0 after the first quarter. We're like, this is a classic Chiefs game. Like, this is what's happened for at least 12 games. You guys, the Chiefs have won. with a one-score game, and it's like, oh, it's 10-3 at the end of the first half. It's 7-0. It's like that the chief opponent is winning the game early, usually into the third quarter. But it's like it seems like the vibe of the Chiefs this season was, hey, if they're 10 points down, they can score at the top of the fourth quarter to get it within 7 or 3 to get it with one score, and then they're gonna win. But it was like that was the thing where it was like they couldn't get that until they got that second score. You know what I mean? In fact, it was like when it was even 10-0, it was like Willie and I were texting each other in real time saying this is still a classic Chiefs game, and then and in fact, it was like it was the big turnovers, like it was the pick six, and then the other one where it's like it was like even you guys got the ball back with like 135 or 145 or something with before the half, and then that was the interception that Mahomes threw like at the 14, the second one to Braun, I think. It was like that was a thing. So where were you? What are you thinking? Where are you going? I'm saying, did you change seats? Did you?
At that point, like halfway through the third quarter, I'm at this point assessing this game against the Bucks Super Bowl. I'm now comparing the two. Like, damn, this one's even worse because it's just. I mean, the Bucks Super Bowl was just awful. They're actually more or less kind of the same game. Mahomes doesn't have much time, and I'm going to say in this game, Mahomes played worse than in Tampa because the line was, I think, better in this Super Bowl, though he got sacked a million times. But he made.
I think your line. I think this was your weakest line going into a Super Bowl. I mean,
I think this was. It was pretty bad against the.
I think you guys got caught. This was I thought this was the beating that you guys sort of were going to catch somewhere during the 17-game season, but didn't. And maybe if you had, because I think there's like, here's my thing. I feel like you guys, at least as the fans, I don't know about the team, but your fan base, the Chiefs Kingdom, got caught up in three-peat mania, much like Patriots Nation got caught up in the perfect season. And that it was like a very similar game where, Strahan and that front four were slapping balls down from Brady. Like, it was like, this was this epic, people everyone bought the hype. Whereas it was like, hey, now it's like, now, let me just put this out there. Right now, you guys Mahomes has gone to 5 Super Bowls. When Brady went to 5 Super Bowls, they're now both 3-2. Brady won his first 3, then lost 2 to Eli Manning and the Giants. He's 3-2, 5 Super Bowls in. You went 1-1, and then you won 2, and you lost 1. You're 3-2 out of 5. So in that way, Mahomes and Brady are dead even after 5.
It'd be interesting because I think we were doing this show right around that time. I remember doing an episode of Sportsaholix back when Brady was right at it must have been that season. And then because it's this weird moment where you're like, well, if he loses one more, now you're 500. And at that, 14 years ago.
Going to the Seahawks one, you were like, that is like when he went to the Seahawks one in 2014, 2015, that would be like, hey, if you're 500, now it's like the LeBron, it's like LeBron. It's like, okay, well, he went to 8 finals in a row, but he's 2-6, Willie. What's LeBron, 3-5?
I thought LeBron could be 4.
Oh,
I thought he's 4-6, right?
He's 4-6 now,
he's 4-6, yeah.
They both went to 10. He's 4-6, but Brady is 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So LeBron James his record in the finals is 4 rings.
He wins with the Heat twice, the Cavaliers, and he wins the bubble championship with the LA Lucas.
No.
That's right.
They're the LA Lucas now, Willie.
But they are.
So okay, so now you're thinking, now where do you go? Where's your head? So now, if I could quote Lost, Sheezer and to Chiefs Kingdom, you're like me. In other words, like there's a weird part, like even hearing you talk as a Chiefs fan going into the Super Bowl, it's like you've won 3, you've lost 2. You now sort of know that for all the Super Bowl, like to all the people who don't know, like we are the spoiled fan base. Like now when you say the Chiefs are truly the Patriots, they've won 3, they've lost 2. And it's like, and it's also one of those things where I think that and I've seen a lot of mutual friends that we know, friends of yours that I'm friends with. I thought the Chiefs have handled the loss. The Chiefs fans have handled it with a lot of respect and a lot of dignity, because it's like you realize it's just, for all the hoopla, for all the legacy and dynasty talk, it is just a football game where literally anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like David Tyree can catch one on his head. You know, like Michael Strahan can slap one down.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Malcolm Butler can save a game like at the 2-yard line. Anything can happen. So where are you? You know, where are you thinking? You know, I'll put it to you this way: after the Patriots lost the perfect season, I thought I was like on the dark side of the moon, where it was like there was a point where I'm like, hey man, you can't root for this again because you're going to be like a Captain Ahab obsessing over Moby Dick. It's like the three-peat isn't something it's like you can't root for another three-peat because you have to win the first one and then the second one to get to a third one, you know, and that's kind of insane.
It'll
Like,
be
you can't
nice.
root
I think this is the halfway point in the career. So when you go back and you look at Mahomes, you look at
Right.
his whole career and be like, and
right.
this was the pivotal moment. So now moving forward, is it maintain this incredible pace of 2 Super Bowls every 3 years for the next hopefully 12
Right.
seasons, or however long? And here's the other thing with Mahomes, and I mean, it sucks to bring it up, knock on wood, but he hasn't had the season injury yet.
Everybody gets an injury. You're
It
saying
happens.
Eli
So,
Manning, Tom Brady, Dan Marino,
yeah,
Michael Vick. Everybody gets broken in the NFL, and
it
he's done some
happens
amazing.
eventually. I mean, this actually is a great way to kind of say like, hey, maybe these rules softening up the extra flags, the penalties, protecting the quarterbacks. Like,
I would
Right.
say that helps a lot.
I mean, it's kept him. I don't know how many games he's missed, but maybe from injury, maybe a 5. I don't even know.
I mean, remember, as you Chief fans know, Tom Brady lost the perfect season, and then within the first 8 minutes of the 2008 season, your Chiefs, Bernard Pollard, knocked Tom Brady out of the 2008 season entirely.
Which
So there's
then
also one of
screwed the
those.
Chiefs because Castle played so well that season. The Chiefs are like, we want a piece of that. So then we sign Matt Castle and ruin our
11 and
franchise.
5. You're welcome.
Actually, maybe let's follow this trail down. And then we bring in Romeo Crennel. He's so bad. We get the first overall pick, I think, in 2013. Bring in Andy Reid. Bam. We can all back to Bernard Pollard. Thank you for taking
Which also remember, this could be the loss. Like Tom Brady, if Tom Brady wins the perfect season, he probably never. I mean, I don't know that he goes to 10 Super Bowls because if Tom Brady had won 4 at that point and had
Yeah,
perfect season, he would have been equal with Montana 4 for 4. He would have had a perfect season. You know what I mean? Like it tied him with everybody. And there was a certain point, like, what do you do? Like there was like it was like the if you watch like Man in the Arena,
But I
right?
will
Tom
say
Brady.
Tom Brady, he even said this many times, is that yeah, he wanted to beat Joe Montana, but he also wanted to beat Michael Jordan. Like it can't like he's such a psycho that he wanted the most championships individually. And
No,
Michael
no,
Jordan
I
had
understand,
6.
but I'm saying losing the perfect season then drove him to go to the
yeah.
next 6 Super Bowls. Whereas, and it's like now, and so it's like this could be for Mahomes a motivation for as you're saying, the second half of second half of a career.
I can
So,
see that.
okay, so just as far as digesting the loss as Chiefs fans, I think the fact that that's the worst beating that we've seen in I think 5 years. Like just from right
Is
out the
Mahomes
gate.
Mahomes has never been down by 34 points. Like it had never happened.
There was this moment when they're down 24. I forgot to mention this earlier, but the Texans playoff game where we're down 24 in like the first quarter, come back to win. And that kind of like catapults Mahomes into like this new echelon of greatness. So like, holy shit.
Sure.
And so I was thinking about that game when we're down big early, but
Sure.
we're all just kind of numb. Everyone's kind of like, is this really happening?
You know what it felt like? It felt like going to like a school dance. You bring a girl to a school dance and she dances with everyone but you. And I was like, this is horrible. And I had all the Chiefs gear on and I felt so bad. I
and
felt so bad for you. I felt bad for my girlfriend. And I was like, uh,
and
It was like, I always think of Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is like Christmas morning. And it's like one fan base gets to open presents and the other fan base gets coal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it
I,
was like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, hey,
I thought you were
today.
going to say is the other fan base found out they converted to Judaism last night in their sleep.
That's I know. I mean, that was it. I mean, it was like the Eagles kept opening presents, and you were getting menorah
Like
socks.
that
You
one?
were
No,
like,
not that one. Just can we get a catch? Oh, not even that. Not even a catch. Okay, not even a catch. What about a 3-yard run in that box? No, not even a. Here's your pick
Did
six.
you curse at any time, Shees, or were you like, throw the damn ball? Did you throw anything? Or were you just
It
like,
was numb, and I think that's why. And I didn't see any reports or any stories like there weren't any really domestic violence issues or anything around the city because I think everyone was just like, "What's going on?" and had just accepted defeat so early in the game. It wasn't that pivotal last second touchdown catch that snatches the victory away from you. That's when you turn, punch your wife in the face when you're blacked out.
you're sitting in the
Unless,
wrong chair.
yeah.
You,
So
you.
so at this point, there was no fight left in the fan base. So thank you to Philadelphia for doing us like that because you really, I think, you cut down on a lot of potential incidents around the city or around Chiefs Nation for that matter. That could be in Wyoming, I know, or wherever. We're all over the country or world now. So, which is
so that means like the quote, not using any pun here, as the Chiefs got beat down, like be humble, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh,
Did you even watch the halftime show, or did you go on a walk,
no.
or
I watched the halftime show and then like I was kind of like dancing around and then every song would start, I would be like, they're not like us, they're not like us. And then I'd be like, oh, wait, that's not this song. And then the next song would start, and I'd be like, they're not like us. And then it would stop. And then finally you got to that, and I was like, there it is, after like 7. And then I was like, is that Venus Williams? And then
that's what I did. I was like, oh, that can't be Venus Williams, and it was.
yeah.
yeah?
See, I mean,
Apparently,
she had to have been more nervous for that to dance. I mean, that's not an easy dance. The crip walking is not. It's a lot of bouncing around, timing.
well, didn't she do it at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open? She did it like in a Grand
I
Slam
think it
and
was
got.
I think it was at Wimbledon. Just it sounds a lot cooler if it's in England.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Crip
we don't
walking
know
on
sure.
grass. But no, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the
I enjoy-
halftime show. I
I
at
enjoyed
it
all
like,
the I enjoyed all the white people who didn't enjoy it. I was like, you're just telling on yourselves. You're just
it's
like,
not
hey,
even
I'm
that.
old.
It's like
I'm old and I'm white.
for me, it's just like, dude, how many times do you want to fucking see the Rolling Stones? Like, we get it. They do. Like, it's just, there's only so many old people are going to like musicians that are barely alive and they've all done the Super Bowl 5 times. So we're not doing the Rolling Stones. We're not, who would even be like Fleetwood Mac? Like, I'm trying to think, like, who would even be approved by the meme where it's like
Taylor Swift. Has Taylor Swift done a Super Bowl? Has she
I
done
don't
a
think
Super Bowl?
so. I don't
Who?
think
Is that
so.
Taylor Swift? I mean, that would have been the thing.
it wouldn't, yeah, not with the, yeah, that would have been, it's like,
People wanted Lil Wayne.
I don't
They
like
want
country
Lil Wayne.
music halftime shows either. I just it's a weird thing. Like they can do a medley, bring in a couple fucking people. It's a big stage. No one gets paid either. So it's not like they got a budget to disperse. Everyone does this for free. So
I don't think that's true. I think it's
it
all
is
Apple
true.
Music.
Nobody
Oh,
gets,
it is?
yeah, they don't get paid for
It's
that.
just
You don't get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Pepsi or because it used to be Pepsi and now it's Apple Music, and
It's
I thought there was.
it's the one
So they're
time
just,
where exposure does pay their bills.
it's a bringer.
Yeah,
It's a bringer.
giant bringer show. Um,
They know what it feels like to be a comedian now.
but I didn't mind it. I think if you're gonna go hip hop, it's unfortunately this is they're kind of running out of time. And they've done this, but it's like you have Dr. Dre, Family, Snoop, and
They
then
did that.
once you get now because it's like Kendrick's like now that was like Snoop's cousin. You know what I mean? Like you're further removed away from the origins of hip hop, and that becomes more scary. We don't. What did he say? Did he say the N word? Oh my! Is he talking about robbing? And everyone's just like, just go make go make popcorn and come back, and then watch the Chiefs continually get the fucking shit kicked out of them for another.
That's my next question there. So halftime's happening. You're waiting for Not Like Us. They come back out. In your head, you're thinking, come back, come back. Then that first series, was it 3 and out? That's
Oof.
when they
It was a quick one.
It was quick.
It was a quick one, and there was a sack or two.
Was there a moment where you're like, I can't watch any more of this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, at one point, probably like 5 minutes left, I just had the blanket over my head. It's laying there. And then I guess Jody's got a video of it. And she's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
I'm hiding from the monsters.
Yeah, I just
Because you got two, because a year ago you were celebrating, and a year before that you were celebrating. You're wearing your back-to-back right now. So
and
there's
then
a certain point.
I start coping. I'm like, you know what? No one can die at a victory parade if we don't have a victory parade. So that's good. And then I'm like, you know what? It's supposed to snow 10 inches on Wednesday. No one wants to stand out in cold snow to celebrate a victory. So that's good. It saves everyone. So I just try to I'm making up all these excuses why it's good that we lost because it's supposed to start snowing in about 10 hours. And,
Right.
I don't want to stand out
For safety concerns.
Safety. Yeah, safety concerns all around, really. And then
Oh, you became a man of the people. That's what you're saying.
the other thing, I was like, we get one higher draft pick slot now. We don't have to draft at the end of the first round. We get the one before the end. So
I've again, as a Patriot fan, I've been there. I have been there.
That's some equity we could trade back because we do good.
Yeah, just get into the second round. You get another one. Somebody wants to come up. Someone wants to get back into the first round. Absolutely. Now let me ask.
I want a cornerback from Eastern Kentucky or a MAC school that's just killer, just waiting to be an all pro in 3 years, but no one knows them. I think that's anyway.
I think we should mention here that the Philadelphia Eagles victory parade will be on Valentine's Day in the city of brotherly love. So we can expect whatever horseshit eating, lamppost falling off, or
well, I will say, you said no Eagles fan died after the Super Bowl, but one did die after the NFC Championship.
Really?
Yeah, he climbed the light pole and he fell.
Oh, okay.
That's why evidently they greased the lamppost on Bourbon Street. They evidently greased all the. I mean, I don't know if it was a joke, but they had to.
I saw that.
Sense.
No, I saw that, but I found out more information. They greased the poles anyway during Mardi Gras. So
well, they were ready. It's also New Orleans was ready. They came with light pole grease.
Yeah,
whereas Philly,
just a big old
not. It's like when you have Mardi Gras, you're ready for a bacchanal. Whereas Philly, it's like, look, they again, and I will say, tip of my own cap to pump myself. I did call it. Philly wins rematches, which, by the way, Raiders Nation, look out! You don't want to see the Eagles because Tom Brady is going to get you.
We're gonna take a break. I'll be right back here. Let me stop this.